Okay, so like, you know how everyone's social media was just flooded with those like super cute Studio Ghibli images this past week?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, right?
It was a fun trend, I'll give it that.
Mm.
But it felt like the internet was almost like, I don't know, trying to distract itself with something whimsical.
Yeah, to avoid talking about the really huge AI stuff happening at the same time.
Right. Like March 25th especially was just bam, announcement after announcement from like OpenAI, Google,
Mm.
felt like a fire hose.
Totally. And there's so much more beyond just those big names, too. A ton under the radar stuff that deserves a look.
Which is exactly what we're going to do today. So we've been going through like a mountain of material, mostly video transcripts of folks breaking down these announcements.
Yeah, some really insightful deep dives trying to make sense of it all.
And our goal today is basically how can we cut through all the hype, get to the core of what actually matters?
Yeah, without needing a degree in AI, right? Just what do people actually need to know?
Perfect. So let's just dive in. Might as well start with the visual stuff because that's what everyone was freaking out about.
Right, the images.
OpenAI, they came out with image generation right inside ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've had Dilly before, right?
Right, yeah.
But this new version, and just for the sake of talking about it, let's just call it Dilly 4. This one feels, I don't know, different.
Definitely different.
Like what struck you as the biggest shift from the image tools we had before?
I think what's really interesting is like all these different things are coming together now. You've had like amazing image quality coming from like Midjourney, Ideogram. Those have been fantastic.
Right.
But what ChatGPT is doing is they're bringing in this language aspect. So it's not just the image itself, it's being able to generate images with text in them.
Oh yeah, coherently.
Coherently, yeah. And then being able to go in and edit those images just by like talking to the AI.
Oh yeah, just like move this here, change that to
Exactly. And then you can transfer styles so easily. That's a really big deal because it makes it way more user friendly.
totally. And that whole add any style feature, that's what like fueled that whole Ghibli craze.
Yeah.
I got sucked in myself. Like I took a picture of like me and my wife with our car
Yeah.
and I turned it into it looked like something out of Spirited Away. It was so cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And then I took like a boring conference photo of me and some colleagues and gave it the full Totoro treatment.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like it was almost like addictive, you
Uh,
know?
yeah.
And it wasn't just Ghibli either. People were doing like South Park, Minecraft, all sorts of pixel art, voxel art transformations. Like the versatility of styles is just insane.
It is. And I think what's really insightful about that isn't just the stylistic transfer, but what it means for just general creativity. Like anyone can take their ideas and visualize them in ways that they never could before.
It's true.
Like you don't need to be an artist to suddenly create art in these really amazing styles. And it's not just like a surface level thing, like slapping a filter on it. Like the model actually seems to understand the core of what makes these different visual styles work.
Yeah.
Like we even saw people generating Venn diagrams and infographics.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, right inside ChatGPT. And they weren't like perfect masterpieces right out of the gate, but they were a really solid starting point that you could then refine just by talking to it, by prompting it.
So like a good first draft, essentially.
Exactly. And that means that it's got a much deeper understanding of what visual information is than just like surface level aesthetics.
Yeah, for sure. I was messing around with it and I was trying some like out there prompts, you know. I was like, give me GTA 5 style, give me Rick and Morty. And the Rick and Morty one, it looked more like Simpsons, Futurama, which is an interesting thing in
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
But you know, then messed around with like YouTube thumbnail text. Remember that thumbnail where it's supposed to say worth it, but it was like
Yeah, it was glitched out.
glitched out. Yeah, but then they fixed it.
They did.
But it's those little things and then the fixes afterwards that make you realize, oh, wow, this is like really in development still. This is moving fast.
Right.
And then that thumbnail, I was just messing around. I was like, give me a brownie face, close my mouth, and it did it perfectly.
That's funny.
It was unexpected.
It's those unexpected things, those little anecdotes, those are the most revealing, I think, because it shows you how people are actually starting to use this.
Right, how they're playing with it.
Yeah, and it's very natural, you know, like remove the background, give me a transparent PNG, or combine these images, put a logo on it, but in like a GTA style or Studio Ghibli style. Those were tasks that like you would have needed Photoshop.
Right, specialized software.
Specialized, expensive software,
Yeah.
some technical skills. Now you can just do it by talking.
It's so wild. And some of the features, like advanced features, were just mind-blowing. Like
Yeah.
generating a high five from 2 separate photos.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was crazy. Adding explosions to like ordinary backgrounds.
Yeah.
And then taking a static image and turning it into a fully rigged 3D video game character using, I think it was Tripo 3D.
Yeah.
Like it really feels like the line between just an image and like dynamic visual content. That line is just getting thinner and thinner.
It really is. And I think that Trapo 3D thing is interesting because it shows that it's not just the model itself, it's the ecosystem building around it. So you have these core AI models, and then you have people building these tools that interface with it.
Right.
That makes it so much more powerful.
Absolutely. And OpenAI, they initially rolled this out just to their paying Plus and Pro subscribers. And they actually put the free plan on hold because there was so much demand.
Wow.
Which, I mean, that says something, right? People want this. There's a huge interest.
There is.
And I think we saw that reflected in just like the explosion of examples popping up on X. Like people were using this for everything. Eye-catching YouTube thumbnails.
Yeah.
Product ads. Right. Quick mock-ups of like branding, their logo on a store or something.
Yeah.
Landing page design. Someone redesigned their living room using this.
Wow.
It was crazy. And of course, the memes. Like that fake Wikipedia screenshot. So believable.
It was really good, yeah. I think it's also really interesting to look at how other players in this field are reacting to this. Like the CEO of Midjourney, he made some comments that seemed not so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Which you can kind of understand given the competition.
Sure.
But it really highlights like a different way of thinking about it. And the counter arguments, the people who are really excited about ChatGPT's model, they're talking about multimodality, that you can handle text and images together seamlessly.
Right.
And then these almost like graphic designer tools that are emerging within ChatGPT, things like control nets, LoRa's, IP adapters.
So those are like more for the technical folks.
Yeah, more advanced features, yeah. But what's cool is that ChatGPT is bringing those features to everyday users through simple prompts.
So like before you'd need to know all this technical stuff, like command line stuff.
Exactly.
Now you can just say, I want this, I want that.
Right. It's like those, what are they called? Comfy UI workflows. They're like these really complicated setups that people use for image generation. Now it's just a prompt. It's like that whole workflow is collapsed down into just a conversation.
Yeah, that really clicked for me. Like we've gone from needing to be like a technical wizard with a whole toolbox of knowledge to just being able to talk to it and have it understand you.
And it's such a game changer for accessibility.
Huge game changer.
Yeah.
Now, as big as that ChatGPT image stuff is, it's possible that it overshadowed something that could be even more important.
Yeah.
Google unveiled Gemini 2.5 Pro. This model seems like it's really raising the bar for just raw AI intelligence.
Yeah.
Like it's at the top of the LM Arena leaderboard.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
And it's not just like scoring well on tests. The scale of its context window is just, it's bonkers. It's 1 million tokens, which is like 750,000 words. And it's apparently fast, even with all that.
Which is really surprising, yeah.
So the limitation right now is that there's no saved chat history in their AI studio.
Right.
Which is a little bit of a pain, but I mean, the potential is enormous.
It is. And to see that 1 million token context window in action, like there was this example where they gave it like a 4-hour YouTube video transcript.
Yeah.
And it summarized it into these like detailed step-by-step bullet points in about a minute. And apparently that was only using like 5% of its capacity.
That's insane.
So think about what that means for processing large documents. Like, could you give it a book?
A whole book.
And it could just like understand it in seconds.
That's wild. And this is available like right now for free in Google AI Studio. Like you can just go and play with it. Even Sam Altman from OpenAI, he called it a great chip, which, I mean, whether he was being sincere or a little bit like competitive.
Well, rivalry.
Yeah, it says something. But what I found really cool is what the community has already started building with Gemini 2.5.
Oh, yeah. There's some amazing stuff.
Like we're seeing everything from simple, fun games like jump games, snake games. But they're using the vast context window to add like more complex interactions. And then there's like sophisticated simulations like soccer simulators, Rubik's Cube solvers that don't get stuck.
Which is impressive, yeah.
Yeah, 3JS-based flight simulators, car simulators. They even made like a full one-shot zombie game, runner game.
It's like they're just pushing the boundaries of what this thing can do.
Totally. And Logan, from, some of those YouTube channels we follow. He put out a call, like, show me the most impressive things you can do with this. And people are coming up with crazy stuff, like bouncing ball animations that are controlled by, like, complex logic particle simulators.
Yeah.
Someone made, like, a 3D simulation of a virus moving through a bloodstream, which was wild.
That's intense.
It's clear that developers are just getting started. They're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
And the fact that Gemini 2.5 is being integrated into coding IDEs like Windsurf and Cursor, that's going to make it so powerful for developers in their day-to-day work.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered these big leaps from OpenAI with the image stuff and Google with this huge upgrade to their language model. But Microsoft also had some cool AI news with their Microsoft 365 Copilot stuff. They introduced a new capability called Researcher and Analyst, and this is powered by OpenAI's. It's called the O3 Mini Reasoning Model. So it's a little bit smaller,
Right.
but it's still really capable.
Yeah.
The big thing here is that it could do advanced data analysis using something called chain of thought reasoning,
Interesting.
which sounds super complicated, but it's
Yeah.
basically like the AI shows its work.
Oh.
It breaks down the problem into smaller logical steps, just like a person would do.
I see. So it's like instead of just giving you the answer, it walks you through how it got there.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
So the AI can ask clarifying questions and then make a step-by-step plan to figure out what the user wants. It's like a little research.
That's so cool.
I gave this example of like developing a product expansion strategy. And the AI could take into account all of the user's internal data and then even go out and find stuff on the web.
So it's like it's proactive. It's not just waiting for you to give it everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then they had this marketing data analysis scenario where they gave it this messy data set. And the AI was smart enough to figure out, like, okay, I need to use these Python tools. And then it executed the code itself and presented the results with like nice visualizations and key insights.
Wow.
What's cool is that they really emphasize the transparency of it. So you can see the AI's thought process step by step, and then the actual Python code that it used.
So you can understand what it did, why it did it?
Yeah, exactly. And it builds trust, right? You're not just like, oh, the AI magically came up with this. You can see how it got there. Now, beyond those specific things, Microsoft's also talked about deep reasoning and agent flows in their Copilot Studio. And that suggests that businesses are going to be able to create their own custom AI agents,
It's interesting.
like for very specific things that they need done internally. So we're going to see like more and more automation happening.
More AI in the workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, as if all of that wasn't enough, there were a ton of other really interesting AI announcements. Maybe they didn't get as much attention, but they're worth mentioning.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, quick run through, GPT-4o got some nice upgrades. It's even better at following detailed instructions. It can handle really complex technical coding challenges. And they say that it has better intuition and creativity.
Interesting.
Oh, and fewer emojis, which is always welcome.
Yes, please.
And then they're using something called MCPS, which stands for Model Context Protocols. It's from Anthropic.
Okay.
And that's interesting because it's like they're trying to standardize how different AI models use external tools.
That makes sense, like trying to create a common language for them.
Exactly, yeah. And then Google Meet got some cool updates, very practical stuff, like it can automatically capture action items from a meeting.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, you can link meeting notes directly to the transcript, and you can scroll through the captions during the meeting.
Nice.
And Google Maps, you can now save locations directly from screenshots.
Really?
Yeah, so like if you see a cool place in a screenshot, bam, save the location.
That's awesome.
And Google also introduced something called TX Gemma. It's a family of open source AI models specifically for therapeutic development.
Oh, wow. Like for medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exciting.
And there are signs that Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet model might be getting a huge expansion to its context window. We could be talking like 500,000 tokens.
Wow. That would be massive.
Huge. And for those who are subscribed to X Premium and Telegram Premium, you can now access the Grok AI model right inside Telegram.
Oh, interesting.
Perplexity, the AI search engine, they added a bunch of new search filters like images, videos, travel info, shopping. And they have this new Places tab for like local discoveries.
That's cool.
DeepSeek V3 got some big upgrades. It's more efficient. It can run on like regular consumer hardware now,
Oh, nice.
although it does still need a lot of RAM. And then Alibaba, they came out with their new open source visual reasoning models. Quinn 2.5 VL and Quinn VL Max. So they're contributing to like the OpenAI landscape.
Yeah, that's great.
And the AI image generation world, it just keeps moving. Like there's a new model called Reeve that's apparently outperforming a lot of the existing models.
Really?
Yeah, especially in text-to-image and image modification.
Interesting.
Ideogram. They released Ideogram 3.0, and it's got big improvements in for realism, creativity, style consistency, and even generating legible text within images.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. AI video generation also saw some cool updates. Luma AI, they came out with Magic Doodles, which is like you can go from array to an image to a video. Dream Machine added a thread feature to organize your generated videos. And Pika Labs, they have this new flashback feature where you can animate between photos and video clips.
Oh, wow.
Like that example where they animated between a real photo and a stylized AI image. That was really cool.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And it's amazing to see AI being used for like real world stuff.
Yeah.
Like Earth AI, they're using it to discover critical mineral deposits.
That's important.
Yeah, very cool. And then autonomous vehicles, we're seeing continued progress there. Waymo's going to launch in Washington, D.C. next year. And Lyft's robotaxis are going to start running in Atlanta this summer.
Wow.
And then you know those videos of Boston Dynamics robots doing like backflips and cartwheels?
Yeah, they're amazing.
Like the pace of innovation is just, it's mind-boggling.
It really is. But with all this excitement, especially about the image stuff, the Ghibli trend and everything, we have to take a minute to talk about some of the potential downsides.
Yeah, that's a really important point.
Especially privacy.
Right, privacy. One of the videos we watched from First Post, they did a deep dive into some of the privacy concerns around the Ghibli trend specifically. And it's, you know, while everyone was having fun, they kind of highlighted OpenAI's privacy policy, which if you read it, it basically says they collect and use the data you input, including the images you upload, to train their AI models.
Right. So when you're uploading your photos, your family photos, photos of your house, your kids, you are giving them permission to use that data.
Yeah. And the experts are raising some really valid concerns about what could happen with that data. Like, could it be misused? Could it be manipulated? Could it be sold for targeted advertising?
Or even worse, what if there's a data breach? What if that data ends up on the dark web?
And these aren't just like theoretical things. We've seen this happen before. Like, remember Clearview AI? They scraped billions of facial recognition images without consent. They got hit with some big fines.
Yeah. And then there was that OtterBox data breach where people's facial scans, driver's licenses, home addresses, all of that got leaked. It's a real risk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just images either. Like, think about health data. Apple's health app, 23andMe's DNA data, all of that stuff is increasingly being collected and analyzed.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it is. Even ChatGPT itself, like, it gives you a warning. It says, hey, be careful about what you upload, and they tell you to review their privacy policies.
Which is good advice.
Yeah, it's a reminder that these AI tools are incredibly powerful, but we have to be smart about how we use them and what data we're sharing.
Absolutely.
So to kind of wrap things up here, it's clear that this past week has been just like a huge moment for AI. The advancements are happening so fast.
It's crazy.
It's mind-blowing. It's going to affect all of us in so many ways.
It really is.
So the question for you, the listener, is, given all of this, the amazing capabilities, the privacy concerns, what do you see as our responsibility, both individually and as a society, in navigating this new AI world?
That's the big question.
Yeah. How do we find the right balance between embracing innovation and protecting ourselves?
It's something we all have to think about.
Definitely something to think about.